Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a timely tarot oracle reading about random shift. This is a general or collective reading, so parts may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you and leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading, so if you are watching it at this time, it's the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it has been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then? That might give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right. The underlying energy, I did a quick meditation beforehand for this reading. And hi, Stella. Do you want to come up? Okay, go away then if you don't. Sorry. I did a quick meditation before this reading, and the Queen of Wands came up in the tarot. So the Queen of Wands is representing one of four queens in the minor arcana, and that's a good girl. Sorry, my cat just woke up. She realized I was doing a reading without her. Oh, you silly girl. All right, so the Queen of Wands is the card that came up for the underlying energy for this reading. The Queen of Wands is one of four queens in the minor arcana, and she is she represents the element of fire. The fire is represented by the wand, which is made of wood, and the wood fuels the fire for passionate action. So then there is her sunflower here is representing her happy nature. So the Queen of Wands is considered to be sexy and like a natural beauty and someone that has a very happy nature. And she's happy because she follows her happiness. That's representing the head of the sunflower, which follows the sun. And, you know, the sun is the happiest card in the deck. This is when you're on God's path, you know, on your God-given path. And the heads of the sunflowers turn with the sun. And so this is representing that energy. Also, this thin veil behind her is talking about the thin veil between the spiritual and the physical realm. And also the energy of using your intuition and your logic for creative solutions. She has a little black cat here, like I have. My cat's not black, but she's like right here. And she's got happy feet now on my lap. So this is talking about the energy of superstition. So a lot of people won't have a black cat, but the Queen of Wands, she doesn't believe in superstition. She follows her logic as well as her intuition to come to creative solutions. And so generally, that's why she's so happy. The wand also represents, because it's from a tree, it represents the deep roots of her ancestors and also the offshoots from the descendants. So the Wheel of Fortune came up for the underlying energy for this reading for my oracle, and my oracle is Tales from the Vector. And this is courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. And it was really interesting. I had a dream like early this morning, and it kind of took me way back to when I went to Egypt. And in this painting here, this is actually Ogopogo from the Okanagan Valley, but in the background is Hatshepsut's temple. And then this crystal here is, Nisimhara means arc crystal. And it was a gift from when I took the emissary program, and it arrived the day before I left for Egypt. So I took her with me on all of my trips, and I had some really, really amazing happenings in Egypt. It was at that time, it was really interesting because I had booked the trip to Egypt beforehand, and I had a dream about it last night because on my mother's deathbed, I promised her that I wouldn't go to Egypt until it was safe. And my mom passed the day after the Egyptian Revolution she passed on January 26, 2011. The day after the revolution, started. So I waited, and the day before I was leaving, this arrived, and I took her with me. And so this is Hatshepsut's temple. She was, I believe, the only female pharaoh. She stepped in because her brother was too young, and then he took over once she was older. But I had so many dreams about Egypt last night, and now this reading comes up like this. So it should be interesting. We'll see. You want to talk about random? I haven't thought about that time for a very long time. The Knight of Cups energy is about a cup of love coming in. So this might even be like my mom reaching out to me. She's, as I said, she passed the day before, or the day after the revolution started. On January 26th, she passed in 2011. And I waited almost a year to go. And it was safe, like you were allowed to go back. But then when I was there, there was a sort of a mini revolution, but I felt totally safe the whole time I was there. I loved Egypt. I loved the Egyptian people. They're amazing. And in any case, this is talking about a cup of love coming in, and the cup of love is about romance a lot of the time, but it could be the cups in tarot. They represent romantic love, but they can also represent, love coming in from your mother in a dream. The dream was so real. Like, it was just, it was like really, really clear. And this energy is talking about some sort of love coming in. Now, this is the Knight in Shining Armor. This is the one we read about in the romance novels. So it can be about that type of energy. For sure, it usually is about someone wanting to offer you a cup of love in a romantic gesture. But apparently it can also be a cup of love coming from your mom across the veil. Or, it could be love for anyone or anything. And also, it can also represent something you love to do or something you love to be. And isn't this interesting? Because look at this. We have these people all fighting with these wands here. And so normally this card would come out, and I would say that this is a card about the energy of, and it's immature competition. But in this case, I feel like this could be talking about, the day after my mom passed, the Egyptian revolution started. And that could be part of it, just because of I don't know what that has to do with everything else. But because here is also the death card, which normally is talking about a major transition. Now, my mom did pass the day before, and before this started. So she might be wanting to, maybe she's coming back to thank me, because I did promise her that I would not go to Egypt until it was safe. And she was worried about it. And, I promised her that I would make sure I was safe before I left. So this could be her saying thank you in the dream. Sometimes that's how it happens. It's kind of took me and it was such a beautiful dream, so loving. And I do feel it's a message from her. But normally, for most of the time, I would look at this as the energy of, immature competition. Like, this is my Mean Girls card, narcissistic cheerleaders that they really, 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 really want the trophy. They're at a competition. Think about grade 6 to maybe grade 10. And, they can see there's another team there that is better than them and is going to win the trophy. And they need to win that trophy because, they're used to winning. And so instead of being inspired by the competition and being in a position of, learning from the competition and watching to see how they do that move, why they're so tight together, why they're better, basically. Instead, they try and dream up ways to win that trophy, even if they have to trip someone up. And if they don't succeed, their mothers pull strings behind the scenes to make sure that they do win. So maybe my mom is pulling strings behind the scenes. I never was a cheerleader, but that could be the energy here. It's kind of funny, like, that it's coming up just because of the wild, like I had that dream I had last night. I'm still sitting in it like 4 hours later after waking up from it, and just thinking what a beautiful dream that was. And but the energy here is talking about being inspired by the competition rather than being like winning the trophy isn't the point of competition. And as you mature, you realize the competition is really within yourself. It's a battle within yourself. Like, are you able to keep your shift together under pressure so that you can move forward in a strong way? And so I feel like that's the energy here. And I really, but I do feel like it's no coincidence that this is the energy showing up here. My mom was reaching out to me across the veil, and I haven't, really had a dream about her in a long time. I think about her quite often. She was a very special woman. And so this is like talking about the cycle of, one cycle ending and a new cycle beginning. And the energy here is like when a lot of people get afraid when they see this card, but this is definitely not, you can't predict death in tarot. Tarot is just a snapshot of what's happening now, and the trajectory you're headed in. It's not, it's not a prediction at all. And a lot of people get afraid of that. But basically this is saying that you're coming to an end of a cycle and you're going to start a new one. So maybe that's what my mom's trying to tell me from across the veil. Something about that. And so there is light at the end of the tunnel. And recognize that I feel like everything has its place and its time. Like if I would have gone to Egypt, like when I was planning, I had to cancel my trip, and I canceled it because it wasn't safe to go. And then I promised my mom on her deathbed after that I would not go until it was safe. And then when, that's kind of the energy. And so I feel like there was I don't know, I'm still kind of caught up in that energy. It has some sort of significance here for sure in this reading. Now, I didn't know, I thought, well, maybe this is more of a personal reading, but I always like to share them when I start a random shift reading, because I never know, I'll think, oh, this is so out there. Maybe I won't post this, but I always find that someone will get back to me and say, this meant so much to me. So I'm going to post this regardless. This is basically saying, like, this older person is saying, bartering with Grim Reaper here. Don't come through town. We don't want your change. But, the energy, they say that the two things that you can rely on in life are death and taxes. And the other one you can rely on is change, because change is happening every second of every minute of every day, whether we are aware of it or not. We only notice the change. It only becomes very significant when, we, it shakes up our world a little bit, and then we'll notice it. The little young children here, one of them is even holding a flower out. And, if you've ever lived in a small town, this energy. There's a stranger in town, maybe they're interesting. And so they are happy that the energy is here. They're welcoming the change and the newness because they're ready for it. And then we also have a king being trampled here. And so this can talk about systems coming down and energy breaking down, things that used to work, not being able to work again, things that you used to love to do that maybe all of a sudden you wake up one morning and you don't like to golf after all. And everybody's, what do you mean? What are we going to do with your Christmas present? That type of energy. It's something that you thought would never change, and then it does. So it could be like for the collective, I feel that this is definitely quite often romantic love. It could talk about a love that happened and there was a lot of competition around it and then it didn't work out. That's the energy I'm picking up here. For whatever reason, it didn't happen. And then this is your energy or the other person's energy. I feel this is your energy for the collective. And remember, all of the characters in tarot are archetypes, so they're not gender specific. This could be a male in his feminine energy, and this could be a female in her masculine energy. So this is about wanting to broaden your horizons, to really put that energy out there for expansion. And, this person is standing on the turret of their castle and they I have the world in my hands, but they come from a small village and they're like, there hasn't been a stranger through town for about a year now. It's time to go on an adventure. It's kind of that energy, wanting to expand. And quite often this can be like an energy of feeling like a big fish in a little pond. So this can sometimes representing just wanting to go on an adventure, wanting to go, on a holiday somewhere or something like that. It reminds me definitely of entrepreneur energy where you have successfully planted one wand here, but you realize, okay, like I need more people, I need more of a clientele. So this can talk about wanting to even go global with your business or international. So we have the water in between, like overseas. And then we have this energy here of maybe you want to franchise or even change the location of your business. Sometimes this can also talk about wanting to expand your family. Like maybe you have put a lot of energy into your work and now you have enough, like you feel like your lifestyle is solid enough that you could support a family, and maybe you want to meet that special one person, or you have, and you want to have children with them and expand your family in that way. So it has several meanings. The Hierophant is here though. So the Hierophant is talking about this being a blessing. As long as you're on the right side of the spiritual and physical law, this is a blessing. And if you're not, then it's like, well, you've been caught and you're going to have to deal with the consequences of whatever your actions are. And so this energy is, the Hierophant brings when justice is involved, it comes from the spiritual realm and then it comes down to the physical. So the physical energy is the courts of law, etc. So the Hierophant is responsible for making that happen. If you're a religious person, this could represent your religious figures that are at the top of your church or whatever religion you're in. So it could be like the Pope, the Cardinal, bishops. It could represent rabbis and gurus, all of that type of energy. And then if you're more on the spiritual side and you like to make that connection to the Most High in a way without an alternative in between or an intermediary, this would be through meditation and prayer and going direct to source. And then that energy comes down and we have like these two monks. They've shaved their heads here in this area to, they call it tenure. It's so that they are sure that they're getting a very clear message from the Most High, exactly how this justice is supposed to be carried out. So this is talking about some sort of justice coming in for a situation that happened. This could be about business. This could be about in your life in some way. Or maybe if this love didn't happen, then this could be representing an energy of something that is supposed to happen for you coming along. And that in some way that may have been a blessing in disguise. And then a Tower hits. Yeah, definitely. So the Tower energy is talking about when your intuition is trying to tell you something, but you're not hearing it. So that your intuition is warning you, you need to take a look at that. At first it's a whisper. Then it's talking about, okay, you get the frying pan over the head treatment. whack. And you're like, hey, universe, what was that for? And the universe is like, that's nothing. You need to pay attention. And then the 2x4 hits. And after the 2x4, then comes the, the lightning. And it hits the tower. And see, now you're not standing on that tower anymore of this situation. This is about talking about a major transition happening. So whatever happens here, you're now knocked off this situation, and you're, this is something that needs to be rebuilt now. And one person is falling out and they're totally shocked, and another one is the energy of total, dang it, I should have looked after this. I knew I should have looked after this. Now, the thing is about the reality check, and that's what this is if you're on the right side of justice, this is going to be a blessing. Down the road, you're going to look at this and say, this was a total blessing. It was a really good, for me, it was a really good thing I didn't go to Egypt like the 2 weeks before when I was planning on doing it. And I had to cancel that trip until it was safer. This is also talking, it could be about the tower hitting with this, with information, with the energy here of the people involved in the fighting. It could be the cheerleaders fighting, it could be sibling rivalry, it could be the revolution. In this case, seeing that I had that dream after meditating on this. Okay, so let's see. If this energy has been stuck for a while, it's saying, the hangman hangs from the tree of knowledge to gain further knowledge, and they're hanging upside down, and then the light around their head shines. That's the aura, and that's when they come down from the tree of knowledge. This is them wanting to look at things from every perspective, and then being able to take action only after looking at it from every perspective. And then we have the Page of Cups energy. So the Page of Cups is saying someone does have, this is saying that someone does have their eye on you. And it's, the pages would work for the king and queen at a very young age, like 7 to 14. And that can be significant for the time frame of this energy. So this could be saying that something, some information is coming in about something that happened back during the time you were in elementary school, high school, or maybe just starting college, university, or going into the workforce. Maybe you were in a position where you were, even being apprenticing under someone or something. And this energy, so it could represent that type of energy that this is, because when the pages became 21, if they were still there and they were doing a good job, they might even be considered for knighthood as long as they could afford a horse. So this would be, it could be that this information coming in goes all the way back to that time frame. It could be that the information is about or from people that you knew way back then. So of course that would be family members, but it would also be like the people you knew from high school and from, like extended family, that type of energy. So that might give you a clue a little bit about what this is about, especially with this card here. This sometimes can represent sibling rivalry as well. Or it could be saying the tower hits the competition really, really hard. And, and for you, it's a blessing. You see how that energy is like that there. So we have the King of Swords coming in. So the King of Swords is the most knowledgeable of all the kings. Like this is someone who's highly educated. The swords represent the element of air. This is about your mental intelligence, discipline of your mind, and your ability to use words. Quite often, this is a king. This is quite often can be political energy, which makes sense with the context of what happened here in the reading, in my dream, etc. And this is talking about, like a president, a prime minister. This could be talking about, senators, congressmen, people like in Canada, it would be like ministers in the federal and provincial government, people with clout. And then it can also be talking about the judiciary system. So this definitely could be judges and head prosecutors. And this, if it's a lawyer, this would be a lawyer that would be an established lawyer that probably is a partner in an established firm. And quite often, this can also represent a divorce lawyer. The king and the queen of swords are the most likely to be divorced. And so the energy is talking about, also, it can be like someone that writes a best-selling book. This could be, researchers like finding cures for disease. It can talk about engineers with patents for making the world a better place. It can be surgeons, veterinarians, dentists, psychiatrists, that type of energy. Someone who uses their words to earn their living and their education rather than physical labor, basically. And so the King of Swords has a really good grip on words. They're very good with words. They understand that words can be used as weapons as well. They can be used to elevate and uplift people. And so it also, if it's also, the King of Swords also understands that words can be used as weapons. And I already said that part, but that words, if you give your word, that if you don't follow it up with some sort of action, that your word becomes useless. And then we have this King of Pentacles energy. So there's some sort of energy here about pentacles for sure. So the King of Pentacles is also like someone who's highly respected. This could be the same king energy or a different king. This energy could be talking about someone who is highly respected for their business acumen, someone that is like financially respected, like respected for that ability. Could be an entrepreneur that has a really successful business. It could be about the banking industry. If it's a banker, it would be someone high up. This can also represent like financial advisors, wealth management, the energy of, life insurance, retirement planning, and accountants, that type of energy, auditors. This also can represent the energy, the pentacle energy is not just about money though, it's about lifestyle. And that's why the king has all these grapes all over his robe. The grapes in tarot are representing the energy of having luxury and being able to provide a luxurious lifestyle. And then what else? This could also be about real estate for sure, because this is the element of earth. So if it's real estate, it would be higher end real estate. It could also be mortgage brokers, the energy of land developers, agriculture. It encompasses that type of energy. Mining, like gold, silver, diamonds, oil. It's all the things that come out of the ground. And basically, you get the idea. It's someone that really has a good understanding of how to make a business run. Someone that you could go to for advice, so that if you were starting a business or whatever, that they would have the proper advice for you. So this reading from the bottom to the top and back down again is talking about the Knight of Cups. And this energy could be talking about it got stuck or it still is like being looked at from every perspective. The Page of Cups sometimes can talk about there was something like that you have your eye on someone or someone has their eye on you. But sometimes it could be there was something stinky going on in your love life. What happens if you leave a fish out of water for too long? It starts to smell. And it can also represent something fishy going on. This can be with the Tower here. I feel like this energy is a tower if you're on the wrong side of the law, and it's a blessing if you're on the right side of the law. And then we have, this authority using, and this can talk about you using your own intellectual abilities as well as your intuition, like the Queen of Wands does. If there's some sort of justice, it's saying that it's coming into being. And this is about expanding your horizons. So perhaps there could be an energy there of something new coming into your life, especially if you've been in a situation that seems to be stuck. So if you're leaving the reading here, thank you for your time and energy. It's a little bit, I'm trying to read it from both ways because I recognize that on some level this is coming in from my mother. But hey, she crossed the veil back in 2011, so she has lots of good advice. She's, every once in a while she says she jumps the line. So I'm going to just clarify. Oh, I'm not using these cards though. Using these, I'm sorry, I've got this cat purring on my lap with happy feet, and she's kind of got me doing things a little bit awkwardly. So we have the energy of the cards. This is the numbers on these cards represent the energy of, or the paintings as they come up in my gallery on my website, talesfromthevector.com. And I will put them in the order they appear here. If you want to take a look at them, you can take a look at them there. So we do have the High Priestess energy. The High Priestess is talking about use your intuition in this situation. And definitely, like I felt really joyful after I had this dream. Because I could really feel the love coming in from my mom. But she may be trying to also send a message. Dreams quite often are quite symbolic. But the High Priestess does use her intuition like the Queen of Wands, using both intuition and logic to come to creative solutions. The Taurus energy here, well, that's kind of funny because my mom is a Taurus or was a Taurus. And so this is about the give and take in life. And being willing to receive love, basically. This is about learning the discernment of how much time, money, energy are you going to invest in a situation, a person, in whatever, project or whatever, and what is your anticipated return, and is it a fair exchange of energy, or would it be better to walk away from it? And so the Taurus energy can be, I just want to point out, like in this case, I feel like this is just clarifying that this is my mom is here in this reading. So, but hey, she's got good advice for everybody, so that's okay. And she was quite stubborn, but I prefer to call that stubbornness, more like perseverance. So this is basically saying persevere to reach your goals, but you don't have to be bullheaded about it. You don't have to be like a bull in a china shop. And so the energy, when I have cards come in, I don't identify specific people as I do my mother here. But because of that dream and everything else, I feel like that's significant. And this is more, I'm talking about the quality of each of the signs, the state of being. What are they trying to say? And it's saying sometimes, like when you're younger, if you try and make a toddler share their favorite toy, they're going to throw a big tantrum. But as we gain knowledge, we start to realize that the competition is really within ourselves. How can you handle pressure, right? And then we have attachment. So there's an energy here. This is the mother of all karmic spaces. If we fall into the karmic space of attachment, it's like when people are saying what's yours is mine and what's mine is mine. And what's really interesting is this is Charlotte's Web, but my mom's middle name was Charlotte. So definitely there's some energy coming in here about this. And she's reaching out to give her advice. And so, when you become attached to someone or something, it can really, keep you stuck in an energy. Like if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. And if it is, it will happen. It's that type of energy. Destruction. So progress in motion. This is sitting on this energy, this tower. I feel like this is talking about the energy of, the people that want what's yours. Like it doesn't sound very fair, does it? What's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. Doesn't really sound very fair. So this is progress in motion. for some, but it's destruction. Like this would have been meant to be destructive for you if someone wants what's yours. Now, the blessing here, though, is when the truth comes out, there'll be a blessing for those on the right side of the law. And again, and this is talking about spiritual as well as physical. You're on a foolhardy journey. It says it's good to wait and really get a good idea. Like, I was really glad that I canceled my my first trip to Egypt because that would have been a foolish journey, and it was a beautiful journey. I had a wonderful trip that time. And then we have the Pisces energy. So this is talking about the change in the world right now. Neptune moved into the sign of Aries from the sign of Pisces about 3 months ago. And, it moves every 14 years. So that this energy is coming up in a lot of the readings. Pisces is the last sign in the zodiac, and it's the very last sign. That, is talking about the senior executive. It's a water sign. It's very more forgiving because, it's more mature energy, and it's about emotions and all of that. It's also talking about authority. But, so for 14 years now, we've been doing things the Pisces way with Neptune. And Neptune is about, how do you approach life? Like, how do you approach relationships and, with people, places, things, etc. And now it's moved into Aries just a few months ago. And in Aries, it's a newborn baby, the very first sign. It's a fire sign ruled by Mars, much more aggressive. And the baby's crying and nobody can figure out how to really make it, make the baby happy, and everybody's running around, the baby's crying. And this is saying, I feel like the message has been coming up in a lot of my readings. For the next 14 years, Neptune will be in Aries, and it's just saying, like this energy here, that sometimes we have to put new systems in place or tweak the old ones. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, but at the same time, you have to look at things in a different way, the way the world is now. So I feel like that's just really good advice. So thank you, Mom, and I hope this was beneficial for you. I do feel it is, or I wouldn't post it, but I will post this. All right. Thank you for your likes, your comments, shares, subscribes. I really do appreciate them. They're helping me build my channel, and I will be back with another reading for you soon. Bye for now.